Hey guys, welcome back to the bedroom remodel project. Today we're still working on electrical. Electrical's a pretty big effort here. We got all the, you recall from the last video, we got all the ceiling recessed can holes cut in. We got a lot of the wiring pulled for the switches. We got four-way switches going in here, which is 3 switches. So I've got the wires pulled in from the attic for that. Found out that 12-3 wire is very expensive. I think I bought a 25-foot roll and it was like $120 or something at Home Depot. So the other thing that we want to do is I'm adding an outlet over here on the baseboard. So I'm hoping I'll be able to pull a Romex down here. I just cut a hole in the baseboard and I'll be installing a handy box, which I guess is not technically the right size, but it's all I can do is fit like 2 1/4 depth in the wall because there's solid brick behind the plaster lath, and there is about a 3/4 inch gap between the metal lath and the outside brick wall. So I'm hoping I might be able to fish a Romex down there and wire this in. And then over in this area there was an outlet, but once I cut back all the knob and tube, there was no electricity provided to this, so I'm going to try to drop a new Romex down to this one as well. So that's today's project, so please hang with me. Okay, we're trying to run wires up to the attic from switches to power these, or to operate the new recessed lights that we installed in this room. So I don't know if you showed them, we got all the holes cut for recessed lights. That was quite a chore, using a 6-inch hole saw, cutting through plaster and steel lath. So that's where we're at right now. Maybe only big enough for one wire. We get guys, welcome back. Doing the bedroom bathroom remodel. Up here today I'm working on something really super exciting and fun. I'm removing tons of scratchy insulation so that I can expose the ceiling, because I've gone ahead and cut in holes for the recessed ceiling lights. I've also gone and cut back all the knob and tube wiring, basically figured out all the circuits, so I've got all those safely terminated right now. So right now it's just more insulation removal. Then eventually I'll be installing the wiring and the new recessed lights. So wish me luck. Pulling up 3 wires that'll be used for actually a 4-way switch. So I'm trying to get it up into the attic so I can send it down to the other switch. Okay, that should be good on that. Let me pull what yellow I need now. Okay, now I got the white fiberglass wire pulling rod down through the hole. I'm trying to feed wire to the switch box. So I'm going to be attaching the wire to it. Then you could pull it down once I get it attached. Oh, I'm up in the attic, and as I said previously, I'm trying to run power down to a couple outlets in the baseboard in the room. So I cut a hole in the one baseboard, and I managed to, with some careful measuring, I drilled a hole in the like 3/4 inch wide cavity between the metal plaster lath and the outer brick wall. So I got lucky. I put a nut on the end of some builder's string and our mason's twine, and I managed to drop it down, and my son was able to grab it. So far so good. Next step will be to pull some Romex up here. Okay, I'm just coiling up the string so that we have it ready for the next one. Put it back in my tool bag, don't lose it. Now I'm gonna start pulling this Romex. Got one of somebody had previously run a new circuit from a new panel down in the basement all the way up here. There's actually two of them up here. So I've got this circuit. There's nothing else on it right now. I'm not going to use the knob and tube wiring anymore. I'm going to use this to power the ceiling lights in the bedroom, the ceiling fan, and then these two new outlets. So that's all that's going to be on there. This other circuit over here that I found, this will be used for the new bathroom area, provide all the power for that bathroom, even though I think technically you're supposed to have bathroom outlets on a dedicated circuit. Probably not going to do that. But I may reuse some of the old knob and tube circuit just to power lighting. That way this could just be for outlets, and maybe the outlets and the exhaust fan. So that's it. I'm going to head back down to the bedroom and figure out where I need to drill for the next outlet. So I'm up in the attic, I need a way to measure. So what I've been doing, I'm using these holes. So I'm going to measure where this outlet is relative to this hole. And that way when I'm up there I can do a better job of locating it. So I'm going to set up the laser real quick. Get that set up on the center line of that hole. So I'll measure over to the center of the outlet from there. So I know that is just about 12 inches exactly. Now I need to know how far from the edge of here to the wall. So I'm gonna grab a stool. So to the wall is about 38, and the plaster is about 1 inch thick with the lath. So about 39 to the edge of it. So you need 12 inches over and 39 from the edge of this to where the wall should be hollow. All right, heading back up. Hey, we're back several days later since last time I filmed, but just wanted to give you a quick update. We've completed all the electrical rough-in and the ceiling. So put on a big push the last couple days. Yesterday it was nice and cool and rainy, so I got up in the attic and did all the wiring connections up there, got all the recessed lighting installed, and also connected all the four-way switches. I was pretty nervous about that. I wasn't sure if that was going to work because I had trouble finding the wiring diagrams for a four-way switch with a dimmer, but I did manage to find something, and I went ahead and like bench tested it down in the workshop before doing it to make sure it was going to work. So the way this works, I've got the dimmer here, so I can turn on the lights, I can dim them from this location, and then I can go over, this is going to be the door to the bathroom, so I can turn off the lights here, and then over here is where the bed's going to be. I'm going to make a wood, like three-sided column here, since I got all the wiring back in here, so I can turn the lights on or off from here, and then I've also got the location where the fan control switch is going to be, and that's going to operate the ceiling fan right there. I did manage to get the box for the ceiling fan installed, so I'm pretty happy with the way the ceiling turned out. There was a ton of work. I don't know if you recall in the earlier video after I did the demo, there was large openings where the walls have been, so that took quite a bit of work, many layers of compound, sanding, etc. to get that leveled out, but I'm pretty happy with the result. And I did use this tool, which I purchased. This is a drywall sander. It's made by Wen, and it looks kind of like a copy of the Festool one, but I think the Festool one is like $2,000, and this was like $139. So this really worked great. I was very happy. I was able to hook it up to my Festool dust extractor, so I virtually had no dust. I did notice when you would pull it down from the ceiling, some dust would fall out because I think it kind of lost suction at that point. One thing about this, it's very heavy, so when you use it extended period of time, it does begin to get to your shoulders after a while, but it really speeds up the sanding process. So that's it. Very happy with so far. Next step, I've got to finish wiring up outlets into the boxes, etc., and then finish up drywall and get the walls all sanded and ready for primer.